If you're letting the AI just cook, you're not a 10 times developer. You're a junior with autocomplete. Every senior engineer I know stopped vibe coding 6 months ago, and the thing they replaced it with has a name. It's called Spec-Driven Development, and once you see it, you can't unsee how bad the alternative actually is. Let's get into it. Andrej Karpathy coined the term vibe coding back in early 2025. The definition was simple. You describe what you want, you accept what the model gives you, you don't really read the code, you just vibe. And for a throwaway prototype on a Saturday night, that's fine. That's actually what Karpathy meant. The problem is that people started shipping it. Here's what actually happens. You type add authentication. The agent thinks for a second and starts building. It picks a library you wouldn't have picked. It invents a password reset flow you didn't ask for. It adds 3 new dependencies. It writes middleware that touches every root in your app. 20 minutes later, you've got 500 lines of code across 14 files, and you haven't read a single one. Then the tests fail. You tell the agent to fix it. It rewrites half the code. Now you've got a different 500 lines. You still haven't read any of it. You merge it because you're tired. And 6 weeks later, there's a production incident, and nobody, human or machine, remembers why the refresh token is stored in a cookie. This is the vibe coding failure mode. The agent didn't do anything wrong. It did exactly what you told it to do. You just didn't tell it enough. And now you own code you didn't write, didn't review, and can't maintain. Senior engineers figured this out fast. Their fix wasn't a better model or a better IDE. It was a document. Spec-driven development is the idea that before the agent writes a single line, you write a spec. That spec is the contract. The agent's job is to execute it. Your job is to review the spec, not the code. And it's important to be precise, because people keep confusing 3 different documents. The first is a PRD, a product requirements document. That's for humans. Stakeholders, product managers, designers. It describes what the product should do and why a user would care. It lives in Notion or Linear. An AI agent should never read a PRD directly. The second is a technical design doc. That's for engineers. It describes how the system is structured, what services talk to what, where the data lives, architecture decisions. It's a thinking document, and it's usually too abstract for an agent to execute from. The third is the AI spec. This is the new one. This is the execution document. It's written for the agent and nothing else. And it has a very specific shape. A good AI spec has 5 sections. 1. The why. 1 or 2 sentences on the goal, so the agent has context when it hits a judgment call. 2. The what. The concrete behavior you want, in detail. 3. The constraints. The libraries you must use, the patterns you must follow, the performance bar. 4. Out of scope. The things you explicitly do not want, because this is where agents love to go rogue. And 5. The task breakdown. The spec chopped into small, discrete steps, each one with a verification condition. That last part is the unlock. If every task in the spec has a pass or fail check at the end, the agent can't drift. It either passed the step or it didn't. You can let it run, and you can walk away, because the spec is doing the supervising for you. Let me make this concrete. Imagine you want to add authentication to a Node app. The vibe coding version is 3 words. Add authentication. Press enter. See what happens. The spec version takes about 10 minutes to write, and it looks like this. Why? We need authenticated API access for the dashboard. Session-based auth is out because the mobile client is coming next quarter, and it needs tokens. What? JWT-based authentication. Access tokens valid for 1 hour. Refresh tokens valid for 7 days, stored in a secure cookie. 3 endpoints: log in, log out, refresh. Passwords hashed with Argon 2. Constraints: use the existing Postgres database through Prisma. No new authentication libraries. Custom-written JWT signing using the existing JWT signing library. All new routes go under the existing API versioning scheme, out of scope. No password reset flow. No OAuth. No two-factor. No email verification. No user registration endpoint. Users are provisioned by the admin script. Do not touch the existing user table schema. And then the task list. Task 1. Add the JWT helper module with sign and verify functions. Verification is a unit test. Task 2. Add the login endpoint. Verification is an integration test that returns a valid token. Task 3. Add the refresh endpoint. Task 4. Add the auth middleware. Task 5. Apply middleware to the protected routes. Now hand that spec to the agent. It cannot invent a password reset flow because it's out of scope. It cannot add a new library because the constraints forbid it. It cannot skip the tests because each task's verification is a test. The agent is now boxed in. It's executing, not deciding. And the code it produces is code you can actually review because you already know exactly what's in it. The workflow is 5 steps, and the whole point is that it's incremental. Step 1. You describe what you want in plain language. A paragraph. Not a prompt, not code, just what. Step 2. The agent drafts the spec. You didn't write it from scratch, the agent did. It's good at this. It's much better at writing specs than it is at writing code because specs are mostly structure, and the model has seen a million of them. Step 3. You read the spec. This is the part nobody skips. You read it line by line, and you fix it. You add constraints the agent missed. You cut scope the agent inflated. You rewrite the out-of-scope section, because the agent is always too generous with what it wants to build. This is your real work. This is where engineering happens now. Step 4. Break the spec into tasks, small ones. Each task is something the agent can do in one shot, and something you can verify in 30 seconds. If a task is bigger than that, split it. Step 5. Execute task by task. One task, one commit. Run the verification. If it passes, move on. If it fails, fix the task, not the whole spec. Commit, repeat. The reason this works is the reason senior engineers have always worked this way. You would never hand a junior engineer a 10,000-line feature and say, build it, show me when it's done. You'd scope it. You'd break it into tickets. You'd review each ticket. The AI agent is a junior engineer that types fast. Treat it like one. A few tools worth knowing about. Kiro, from AWS, is a spec-driven IDE that bakes this workflow in. GitHub shipped their own take called Spec-Kit. Same idea, different flavor. And OpenSpec is a lighter-weight community project that does the same with markdown files and a CLI. All 3 are fine. All 3 are honestly overkill for a solo developer. You can do spec-driven development today in Claude Code or Cursor with nothing but a markdown file in your repo. The tools are the formalization. The practice is what matters. Here's the thing nobody wants to admit. Spec-driven development isn't new. It's how software has always been built. A spec, a task list, incremental commits, code review at every step. The only thing that changed is that the engineer executing the spec is now an agent. The discipline that made good engineers good, thinking before typing, scoping before building, reviewing before merging. That discipline didn't go away when AI showed up. It got more important. The developers who get this are shipping.
The ones still vibing are rewriting the same feature for the third time this week. Pick a side. If this changed how you think about working with AI agents, subscribe. Greza drops honest developer tooling breakdowns every week. See you in the next one.